Trustees of Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District is now convened in a regular meeting on Monday, September 14th, 2015, in the boardroom of the Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District Instructional Support Center, 10,300 Jones Road, Texas, at 6 p.m. I want to welcome the members of our audience and our television viewers to this meeting of the Board of Trustees. As the Cypress-Fairbanks Board of Trustees, we're here to set goals, listen to reports, approve budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and make policy for the district. It is not the role of the board to make day-to-day operational decisions. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. We have policies and procedures in place to resolve concerns and issues. This is a public meeting of the Board of Trustees, not a meeting of the public. Prior to this meeting, board members received information related to items on tonight's agenda. Agenda items will not necessarily be handled in the order listed on the notice. The meeting is open to all who wish to attend and hear the matters discussed. During the course of this meeting, the board may determine that a closed session is necessary. In that event, the board will meet in closed session to consider matters duly posted for this meeting as permitted by Section 551.071 to 551.084, inclusive of the Texas Government Code. These proceedings are airing live on CFTV Channel 16 and CFTV online on the district website. They will also be rebroadcast throughout the month on Channel 16 and available as video on demand on the website. For the tape to adequately reflect the proceedings, I respectfully ask that you please refrain from talking while others are speaking and that cell phones are turned off or in silent mode. Thank you for taking the time to join us this evening and for your interest in the Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District. I would also like to take this opportunity to recognize our Community Leadership Committee members who are in attendance this evening and our AVP students. And our AVP students are from Jersey Village High School. And we have Kenji Lopez, Courtney Williams, Ellis Bullington, Sydney Williams, Sierra Mackey, Natalie Rodriguez, Wee Tong, Edwin Chavez, and Micah Dewada, and their AVP advisor is Cindy Stoker. Tonight's invocation will be presented by Teresa Hull, Associate Superintendent for Governmental Relations, Communications, and Chief of Staff. Langham Creek High School JROTC cadets presenting the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance are Eliud, I believe it's Ortega. I'm sorry, Eliud Ortega. Tell your parents I apologize. Celeste Flores, Allison Guthrie, Ty Singleton, and their sponsor is Lieutenant Colonel Paul Marks. Please stand.
Let us pray. Heavenly God, we come together this evening for your benefit. Our business is the young people of this community, and we thank you for calling each of our board members to serve us in the way that you have. We also ask that you provide comfort and strength to the family of Deputy Darren Goforth. We thank you for the men and women who put their lives on the line for us each and every day, including our very own Cy-Fair Police Department. We are also thankful to be a part of a community that has come together in unity through this tragedy. We give thanks for watching over this community as we have begun another year of school and for the blessings of great teachers for our students. In your name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Thank you, cadets. Board Member Christine Hartley will read the district's vision and mission statement for the benefit of the audience.
The vision statement: learn, empower, achieve, dream, lead. Our mission statement: maximize every student's potential through rigorous and relevant learning experiences, preparing students to be 21st century global leaders.
Thank you, Christine. Before we begin, we've got a couple of housekeeping items to deal with. The soothing music that you heard prior to the board meeting tonight is compliments of the Cyfair High School varsity strings, so we appreciate that. And then we also have a troop to be recognized, and I'm going to ask you guys to stand up. And they're here to observe a public meeting for citizenship in the community and communications merit badges, Troop 1296. Reed Beischer. Attaboy. Hey, like the shirt, Reed. Go Astros. Smart move not wearing the Texans gear today, huh? Kyle Beischer. And Evan Kunesny. Okay, I got one I'm missing. Who is that? Who's missing? I got three names. Jonathan Kane. Jonathan Kane. Guys, thank you for being here. Hope you enjoy your time. We will now move on to this evening's special recognitions portion of the agenda. On Monday night, Dr. Pam Wells, Region 4 Executive Director, recognized the board members for the Board of the Year for Region 4. And then tonight we have another presenter, a great friend of CFISD, our community faith-based leader who's just an asset really to the entire community, Dr. Godfrey Hubert. Welcome, Godfrey. Glad you're here.
Glad to be here. I'm honored to be here tonight to recognize the school board that blesses us as a community. I believe that communities are defined by the leadership we choose. And we have chosen fine leaders who have been recognized as TASA's Outstanding School Board in the state of Texas as one of the 5 finalists. And it made me think about JFK's comment when he said one time that leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. And the reason our school district is recognized throughout the state for its quality and for its excellence is because we have great leadership. And as a result, we have good learning going on. Somebody else says that great minds compete, but big minds attempting big things collaborate. And I have seen what collaboration has brought in the school district. The fact that from the local schools leadership to the administration to the school board, working together, not pursuing individual or narrow aims or goals or agendas, but one single agenda, the big picture of teaching every child. As Bonhoeffer said, that a society is recognized and identified by how it treats its children, all its children. And certainly the children in the school district, we know every parent can rest at ease that every child is given the same priority. And I just want to congratulate you and to thank you most of all for the hard work you put in. This is not a cushy job you chose. It certainly isn't high paying at all, but it's a calling. It's a calling to which you step forward and you answer that call. And I personally want to thank you on behalf of the community for being the kind of leaders that you are and for making Cy-Fair School District and the Cy-Fair community the superb community that it is. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Godfrey. I thank every board member to a person appreciates those words of affirmation, so thank you very much. Agenda item 1B, the board will recognize Kroger for their partnership with CFISD through the donation of over 8,000 school supply packs and backpacks worth over $56,000. Our presenter will be Leslie Francis. Hi, Leslie.
Hi. President Ryan, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Henry. It is my distinct pleasure to recognize one of our community partners this evening, Kroger, for its recent donation to CFISD. We were selected as one of only 4 Greater Houston districts and a prep school to benefit from Kroger's Backpack Booster Program. The program was kicked off in early August with Nicole Ray and Channel 2's Ruben Galvan encouraging Houston area shoppers to donate to the cause. Kroger recently presented CFISD with a check for over $56,000, representing the value of more than 8,000 backpacks and school supply kits. And this is an example of their school supply kits. You may be able to see images of the donations on your monitor. The donation arrived at the Berry Center several weeks ago by 18-wheeler. No other words can adequately describe this donation other than wow. I'd like to introduce 2 of our Kroger representatives tonight. Please come forward when I call your name. Eric Solemn-Sauce, Kroger District Operations Coordinator, and I also found out he's a Jersey Village High School graduate. Clara Campbell, Kroger Public Affairs. I'd also like to recognize the efforts of the Berry Center staff and Assistant Superintendent Matt Morgan in distribution. This was no small feat to receive and redistribute the 36 pallets of supplies to our schools. We are thrilled that so many students in our district will benefit from the generosity of our local community in partnership with Kroger. Thank you.
The next item.
Eric and Clara, thank you for being here tonight, but even more importantly is thank you for this unbelievable amount of generosity that absolutely makes a huge impact on our students, and we are so grateful that Kroger did this, so thank you very much. Agenda item 1C, the superintendent will make remarks and announcements, including the honors and achievements earned by staff and students in recent weeks. Dr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President, and just to add to that, we're so thankful for Kroger's and their generous donation that goes to benefit all of our children, and this part of the agenda is called Superintendent's Honors and Achievements, and it's a real honor for me to be in a community with such great corporate and business partners, and we appreciate you so much. And then, of course, one of the people that I think is a local hero and a leader in this community, Dr. Godfrey Hubert. Thank you for all that you do on a daily basis to improve the lives of all children. So we really appreciate you, Cy Hope, and all of your efforts. And just to add to that, it's also an honor for me to be able to work with such a great group of men and women on this board. I told people Thursday night, this is my 25th year to be a superintendent, and it's the first time I've ever nominated group for this honor. And it's because from top to bottom, from left to right, everyone up here, in 4+ years, I've never seen a political motive. It's always been focused on all children. And I want to tell you that that's unusual in any size district where you see a board that knows that wherever a young person is coming from in this community, they're just as important as the next. And I think that's what makes this district unique, and it's especially unique in a large district. So it's an honor to work with each of you on a daily basis. So thank you. CFISD and all of its 82 eligible campuses earned a rating of Met Standard or Met Alternative Standard for Winford High School in the TEA 2015 State Accountability Ratings, the highest of the two ratings under the accountability system. The district met standard on all 4 applicable index targets used to measure performance index. In addition, many of our schools earned a distinction designation and 1 or more designations based on comparisons with similar campuses across the state. So all of that to say that every one of our campuses, we're the largest district in the state where all of our campuses achieve the highest rating offered by TEA, and I think that's something that our campuses, our campus leaders and staff, and of course the people that support them should be proud of. The Office of Glenn Hager, Texas Comptroller for Public Accounts, awarded CFISD with the elite level status of Platinum in the 6th Annual Leadership Circle Awards. CFISD won the Platinum Award in 2014 and has earned the previous high distinction of Gold in the Leadership Circle Awards from 2009 to 2013. This award spotlights local governments that have opened their books to the public in order to provide clarity of spending and share information in a user-friendly format that provides taxpayers with easy access to information. The Platinum Award spotlights entities that go above and beyond providing financial transparency. The 9th Annual Bus Buddies program generated a total of 317 community volunteers who assisted our elementary school bus drivers during the first 3 days of school. 66 businesses and organizations in conjunction with the Cy-Fair Chamber of Commerce participated in the program. The program had a 62% increase in participation from 2014, and certainly we are so appreciative of everyone who participated in that. And although our little ones benefit, I think the biggest beneficiaries are the adults that participate in that, because it really becomes part of their yearly routine. They enjoy the experience so much. We recently selected a new principal for Joel Elementary, so I'll turn it over to Roy Garcia for introductions. Roy?
Thank you, Dr. Henry. President Ryan and Board of Trustees, tonight it is my pleasure to formally introduce to you and to the Cypress-Fairbanks learning community our new principal for Joel Elementary, Mrs. Kimberly Criswell. Ms. Criswell received her Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and her Master's of Education in Special Education from the University of St. Thomas and her principal certification from the University of Houston. Kimberly has 26 years in the education profession. She served as a resource and bilingual teacher in Houston and Spring ISD and as an education volunteer in Honduras with the Peace Corps. In 1984, Kimberly joined Cypress-Fairbanks as an educational diagnostician. She has served as an assistant principal at McPhee and Danish Elementaries. In addition, she has served as an elementary summer school principal. When Kimberly is not working, she enjoys spending time with her husband, Brent. Kimberly and Brent enjoy kayaking, traveling, cooking, and trying new restaurants. I also understand that Brent bakes delicious chocolate chip cookies, so perhaps we'll have an opportunity to experience that in the future. Kimberly and Brent have 8 nieces who keep them very busy. Please join me in congratulating Mrs. Kimberly Criswell.
excuse me. I just wanted to say thank you, President Ryan, Board of Trustees, and Dr. Henry. Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve at Joel Elementary as principal. I am so excited to continue in the tradition of excellence there. So thank you, and I want to say thank you. I've had so much love and support from my husband, Brent, and love and support from Kelly Dalton and Karen Stockton and Michelle Martin, and I'm just so appreciative of everybody and all the help I've received. Thank you.
Thank you, Kimberly. At this time, I'd like to take a brief break so we can just congratulate some of our honorees tonight, and then I know some people have other meetings to attend, and I know that there's hopefully some chocolate chip cookies back there, throwing that out there, but if there's not, that's okay. So let's take a brief break, and then we'll reconvene the meeting in just a few minutes. This will take us to Agenda Item 2A. Any board member may make a comment during this portion of the agenda without prior posting being required. Comment items may not pertain to the character of any student, staff, or board member and may not be discussed or deliberated upon at this time. Before we have the board comments, I need to point out that both Mr. Hoffman and Mr. Covey had commitments with a job that actually pays. And so they went to that, so I really can't blame them. Darcy, you want to start us off?
Sure, I'd love to. Thank you, President Ryan. I wanted to have a special shout out to Judge Larissa Corduba. She is the judge in Harris County Precinct 4, Justice of Peace Court, Seat 2. And she sometimes encounters our students in truancy issues. And a couple of years ago, she met a young man that was one of our students, and he was having a little problem attending school. And she talked to him about how important attendance was, and she made a commitment to him that she would attend his high school graduation if he would work hard and make it. And you know, on August 19th, when we had our summer graduation, there she was on the stage in her full reign and her robe, and that kid was very, very excited. And so I think it's very important that we acknowledge that she did something very special. She probably does it to many, many students, but we heard about this one. So thank you, Judge Corduba.
Thank you, Darcy, for sharing that. Christine?
Sorry, I was very busy playing with my Cypher-ISD app. I just wanted to highlight our technology department and just say we are just going gangbusters with all of this, and it's so wonderful. There is a CFISD app. It's got the schools, your lunches, I mean, just so much information. And then, and I wanted to also, on top of that, talk about our school messenger program. You know, I'm the mom, so I get an email and a text and a phone call when there's anything going on at my school. And I was kind of laughing to myself tonight. I was like, you used to see the school calling and be like, what's wrong? What did they do? What happened? What happened? But now it's just calling about the PSAT test, texting about this. We get so much information as parents, and it's because of you guys. And I just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Christine. I'm especially pleased that my parents didn't have access to that when I was in high school.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Tom?
I have two comments. The first one deals with Houston A+. As everybody knows, they rate schools across the state every year. And I'm not a big fan of their rating system, but I would mention to you that if you take a look at the ratings for Cypher-ISD, it is a tribute to top management as well as classroom management that this district serves every child every day. Even those districts that receive $500, $800 more per child have not been able to do what this district did. That doesn't mean that I like the ratings, but you gotta love the outcome. So first, a tip of the hat to the superintendent, but also to campus management, but also those who do the heavy lifting, our classroom teachers. I would also like to mention that for our communications department, the booklet that you prepared at the request of the superintendent to nominate us for honor board, one was a moving tribute to our service, it was also a work of art, but it was also as well a detailed analysis of how diverse personalities working together toward a common goal of being good stewards, but focusing on achievement for every student every day. So I just want to tip my hat to the communications department for a job well done. I thank you.
Thank you, Tom. John?
Thank you. Yesterday at First Metropolitan, we recognized all of those men and women who work in our schools in any capacity. Our board received this great honor from Region 4, and we're blessed to be in the top 5 of the state, and hopefully we'll get chosen number 1. But we honored those men and women who work every day to touch our students, whether in the lunchroom or in a classroom. And we have a great district, and I thank God to be a part of this district and for all the service that is rendered to reach every child every day.
Thank you, John. Agenda item 3A, patrons who have duly registered per policy BED local may address the board regarding matters of concern or interest to the district, other than the character of any student, staff, or board member. I would like to remind the audience and the viewers that the comments of the speakers reflect their own positions or opinions. The board may not discuss or act upon any matter that is not listed under the action item portion of the agenda. Therefore, board members may not discuss the comments of speakers. Please understand that a lack of a response from board members does not indicate agreement or approval of the comments. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to address the board. Ms. Christine Hartley, Secretary of the Board, will be the designated timekeeper. And we have had one speaker sign up tonight, Dr. Francis Smith. Welcome back, Dr. Smith. Haven't seen you in a while.
Good evening, President Ryan, board members, Dr. Henry, and our live plus TV audience. Recently, a friend shared the following quote, which came from a Fifth Circuit court decision addressing disciplinary issues brought against a Louisiana school district. It is formal and regal and rings true regarding what we know as educators about what education is. The jurist wrote, "It goes without saying that a teacher, which includes a coach, is the cornerstone of education. Without teaching, there can be little, if any, learning. Without learning, there can be little, if any, education. Without education, there can be little, if any, civilization. It is the very mission for which schools exist, to educate." As a profession, we are bombarded with so many other things to do in a given day in our classrooms, we sometimes wonder how we'll teach the students, which is why we're hired in the first place. It is so satisfying to teach lessons where the so-called light bulbs are turned on in a student's mind. Yet we have shortened teaching days for assemblies regarding graduation, pep rallies for athletics, and one day is used for student pictures. Students are thrilled to get out of class, forgetting they are responsible for the lost information. Then some will note that he or she never heard anything, though everyone else remembers. We reel them back in, inserting the missing information, hoping the picture is complete. Sometimes it's not, according to the test. We have technology mandates to follow, so our students will have those necessary learning experiences. With technology and school district budgets, though, there are often glitches, and our carefully planned lessons cannot be used. New computers are coming to place that replace the old ones, but until that time, we may enter a lab and find we have more students than working computers. And we have to punt to figure out whose needs are the greatest. One of my fellow teachers trying to find 30 usable laptops from 3 of our cows, or the computers on wheels the other day, but it took all 6 of the cows in the department to find enough that worked. Mandates work only if the materials and technology are there for you to be used and worked on. Then there's the 60 by 30 plan from the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, whose goal is to have 60% of Texans between 25 and 34 hold some kind of degree or post-secondary certification by the year 2030. Now the number is 38%, and this is 15 years away. Part of the push began with House Bill 5 when the legislature mandated that senior English teachers work with the nearest community college remedial reading and writing teachers to bridge the gap between high school and freshman English without remedial classes. Last year was the first year, the results are mixed, and the curriculum is being tweaked. The work of the committee has taken hundreds of hours, not to mention changes. Senior English teachers are integrated into the curriculum for the second year. Our noble profession is bombarded by so much daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly, and we worry about the younger recruits. Will they stay or leave with all these extra things to do? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Also, during the course of the Committee of the Whole meeting, it was the consensus of the board that the following action items be approved as submitted or amended. That would be Agenda Item 4A. The board will consider awarding bids and contracts and/or authorizing purchase orders as recommended in the posted agenda item. And that item included art paper, carpet, and resilient flooring, college readiness and career interest test, digital displays, district fundraiser services, grocery goods and supplies, police department vehicles, printers, restaurant catering and delivery services, safety and security film glass installation, specialized education services, spirit apparel and promotional items. And 4B, the board will consider approving on second reading additions, revisions, or deletions to district policy CCA local, local revenue sources, bond issues, FNC local, student rights and responsibilities, student conduct, FNCC local, student conduct, prohibited organizations and hazing, FO local, student discipline, CKG local, community relations, school volunteer program. Agenda item 4C, the board will consider approving tax refunds of $500 or greater for Cypress-Fairbanks ISD. And 4D, the board will consider approving the minutes of the August 12, 2015 regular meeting. On Thursday, the following non-consensus items were placed on the consent agenda. That would be 5B. The board will consider approving a financial advisory agreement between Cypress-Fairbanks ISD and First Southwest Company in connection with the issuance of obligations of indebtedness in accordance with the terms of the agreement. And also 5E, the board will consider approving on first reading additions, revisions, or deletions to district policy CDA local, other revenue investments. And 5F, the board will consider approving the granting of a dedicated 0.014 acre unobstructed visibility easement to the public located at the corner of Barker Cypress and Cypress North Houston for the Sadie Harris Woodard Elementary School site, and authorize the superintendent or designee to negotiate the final terms and execute all related documents. And lastly, 5G, the board will consider approving the granting of 0.0045 acre, 196 square feet, and a 0.0046 acre, 200 square feet tract for a water line easement to the West Harris County Regional Water Authority located near the intersection of Round Robin Drive and Plantation Myrtles Drive at Emory Elementary School, and authorize the superintendent or designee to negotiate the final terms and execute all related documents. May I have a motion, please?
I move that we accept all the items on the consent agenda.
Thank you. May I have a second? Second. Are there any additional questions from board members on these items? Yes, sir. Mr. Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. President. The first series of questions I have deal with technology. I'm going to go ahead and give all four questions I have, and then whoever wishes to field the question and answer, feel free to do so. The technology contract that we're to approve is for Promethean smartboards. This summer I attended the business meeting where a presentation was made by the representatives for Promethean, which included comments by the CEO as well as others. Later this summer I sat through a cash flow seminar featuring this product. The demonstration of possibilities was quite exciting, and I heard one attendee note that this might well be a game changer. The questions. What is your opinion as to the true nature of the product and the support system of the vendor behind it? Secondly, if this product is adopted and installed, and if its usage exceeds the allocated bandwidth which has been calculated for prior contracts which we've approved, do you have the ability to increase bandwidth, or do you have the ability to place a governor upon the product? The second, and as you know by now, all my questions are preceded by a comment, right? Television coverage and a newspaper article noted that a neighboring district was issuing laptops to all middle school and high school students and installing digital textbooks. It does not appear that we are doing this on an across-the-board basis, but rather investing in enhanced smart boards. My third question, please explain the rationale, the strategy, and any technical issues behind this approach. My next comment happened last week. Last week I heard on a popular AM radio station that features powerful elected officials that sit in court down in Austin. And the comment, and this is not an exact quote, but it's very, very close. What was said was Cy-Fair ISD was issuing laptops to every student and financing these over a 30-year bond. The commentator on that radio station then said, imagine a Mac over 30 years. And so my last question is, please comment on the veracity or lack thereof of this statement. So I'll leave it to you all to handle any one of these four hot potatoes however you wish to. So,
Mr. Jackson, I'll begin, and probably Stuart and Frank, you will have to jump in somewhere along the way. But I'll take your first question regarding which is the opinion. And I will have to agree with the opinion that the attendee at the district digital conference gave, or that you overheard, that this product will be a game changer for instruction in the classrooms. An example of this that I can give you is that through the product's cash flow software, our teachers will be able to provide ongoing informal assessments, provide on-the-spot reteach opportunities, and also provide immediate feedback for our students. So this is right on the spot. That certainly is different and certainly is a game changer and an opportunity to improve instruction and support kids immediately. As far as support for the system, I believe that our team already has a great partnership with Promethean and with Pro Computing. Some of you attended the Ron Clark training for our teachers. They actually sponsored Ron Clark to come to be there for our staff. Additionally, they have actually donated an active board for our district computer lab so that we can simulate right here in our own training labs a classroom, a technology classroom, and be able to teach our teachers and support our teachers with a similar setting that they will be able to go back to. So I'm very excited about that opportunity for our teachers. Now I will share with you that with any product, software or product that we purchase, that we do a district-wide implementation, we usually will try to Cypherize it. And we work with the companies so that they will help us do that so that we can meet the needs here in Cy-Fair. And I don't expect that that's going to be any different with Promethean or with Pro Computing. Frankie, I can't answer the second one.
I'd be glad to answer the second question. Mr. Jackson, thank you for your question. Your second question was, if this product is adopted and installed, and if its usage exceeds the allocated bandwidth contemplated in our calculations, do we have the ability to increase bandwidth or to place a governor on the usage? And so the answer is yes, we do have the ability to increase bandwidth. Yes, we do have the ability to prioritize network traffic. We do that currently. For example, email and some of our instructional systems are prioritized ahead of other categories of internet requests. We view the Promethean board Like any other device running on the network, such as a laptop or a desktop, we do not expect it will be any more network intensive, and we'll monitor that very closely.
And I will, probably with Frankie's help, I think I can answer the third question regarding issuing the laptops versus purchasing the Promethean boards. I will share with you, Mr. Jackson, that we have already begun buying some of the devices for our classroom. However, our goal all along was to make sure that our infrastructure was in place before we bought the massive numbers of both teacher tools and student tools. You may recall during the bond committee meetings, our teachers talking about the spinning circle of death. And right now, we're still working at getting our infrastructure in place. And so the spinning circle of death, no, spinning circle of death. And so we believe that if we had just bought all of these tools, our teachers would be experiencing this. However, we did want to be able to start buying something that was going to have an immediate impact of instruction and not have the huge impact on the infrastructure at this point while it's still being, we're still working on it. And we believe the Promethean boards are that.
I would like to add to that to say that the Promethean board, there's a greater return on investment. Currently, we have smart boards, and the projectors and the bulbs for those smart boards are aging. And so if you really look at the total cost of ownership and the return on investment, the Promethean board, there's a greater return on the expectancy and lifespan. And the initial purchase cost is being similar in price of a projector and bulb. The cost of ownership being less with 50,000 hours and up to 10 years, whereas a projector life expectancy is 3 years and a bulb burns out within 3,000 hours. And so it basically is a wash if you compare the two. And we're in a position right now where we have projectors and bulbs that need to be replaced. So I think the answer to your third question is, Dr. Macias explained the rationale and the strategy. This is what we believe to be our technical response to purchasing the Promethean boards.
I have a follow-up question on that. Has there been any analysis where handheld devices or iPads with textbooks on them, which is a tremendous cost, where it's been passed out on a district of our size that has proved its efficacy in raising student achievement? Are we to that point yet, or is that still too early in the game?
That may be a curriculum and instruction question that one might want to point to Dr. Macias, but I think we're following the strategy of the Long Range Planning Committee very carefully and the research that was associated with that activity. We believe that we have a very good strategy for moving forward, and we're doing so with great caution and with great care. And as Dr. Macias elaborated, our focus is on the infrastructure and building an infrastructure that's built to last, that would basically support a platform of a one-to-one device or any other type of device, whether it be a tablet, an e-reader, desktop, to run on the network and run effectively.
And I will add to that, Mr. Jackson, that online textbooks are still pretty new. And it's still a pretty new phenomenon for not just Cypher, but our other districts. And so we're still learning about the implementation of them, how we get them out to their teachers and to the kids. And those are pieces that we're going to continue learning. The companies are themselves are learning about platforms and how to work with districts regarding platforms that are available, and we will be able to push out the different codes for our kids. So I think until we get to that point where we're feeling comfortable with the online textbooks and making them available to our kids and our teachers, and the companies are, I don't think we can really evaluate that.
Dr. Henry, I continue to support the strategy that manager has put together with the emphasis upon teacher tools, because I think teachers are really the ones that have the ability to leverage the learning for our students. So I still support that approach. Let me go back and restate my last question. I probably should have done this in parts. Basically, I heard a comment on an AM radio station, which I believe to be inaccurate, talking about financing by Cyfair of laptops over a 30-year period of time and giving every student a laptop. Would you comment briefly on that, whoever's going to answer that?
Sure. Mr. Jackson, the comment that we're financing laptops over 30 years is simply false. When we sell bonds for any purpose, whether it's for the construction, renovation of schools, or for technology, or for the purchase of buses, we structure the debt that we incur in selling those bonds to align with the estimated useful life of those assets. For example, when we sell bonds that include proceeds to purchase computers or other devices such as that, the debt that's associated with those computers is paid off in 5 years, which is the estimated useful life of those assets. For buses, the estimated useful life for them is about 12 years, and so we structure the debt so that that principal maturity is within 12 years, and then 30 years for buildings.
Thank you, Stuart. That concludes my technology portion of questions, but I don't want anybody to be concerned that I don't have other questions for other cabinet members, so thank you, Frankie.
You're welcome.
We're being asked to approve variable interest rate bonds, and I would repeat the two questions I had the last time that we did this. The first question is, what is the fixed default rate if we do nothing at all with the variable interest rate bond?
Whoa, let's wait a second. Right now, we're just on the consent. I don't believe the bonds, we've got the bonds.
Got moved to the consent.
On the consent,
Okay.
Okay, you're looking at B then?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure that Marty doesn't start throwing daggers at us. Go ahead.
Okay.
I was making eye contact with you.
I saw you.
When you read it off, I thought I had heard you, so.
Okay, no, continue
So I
on.
can
Sorry for the
continue?
interruption.
So if you would please comment on what that fixed default rate is, and then also briefly discuss the current interest rate environment in which we find ourselves, where we'll be going to market.
Do you want us to address that now, or are we skipping to those items on the agenda, or? I don't think you've taken action on the consensus items yet.
Well, they've made a motion. I actually didn't think they were on the consent agenda.
They're not.
They're not.
That was my question.
So if we're on the consent agenda and we've got a motion and now we're having discussion, it's only about those on the consent.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So if we're moving past that, then we need to go ahead and wrap up that agenda item.
Because I was under the impression that your question was involving 5C,
Is it C or D?
if I'm mistaken,
That's
but I
correct.
think that's not part of this agenda.
The bonds were not
Well, we can
included on the
bring it
consensus.
up either way.
Let's wait till let's go with the consent agenda, and then I know you mentioned the other night that you have questions over some of these others, and so let's go ahead and we'll ask those separately because there's several of them that are not on the consent agenda. So I'd like to do that.
Very good.
Thank you. Any additional questions from board members? I have a motion from Darcy, I believe a second from Tom. All those in favor, please signify. Donna, it's unanimous.
President Ryan, before we move on to the next item, I would like, because it relates to 5B, the approval of the financial advisory agreement. Thursday night, I introduced Mr. Terrell Palmer, first Senior Vice President with First Southwest Company. He's here again tonight, but I also want to introduce members of his team that are here tonight, if you allow me to.
Absolutely.
Tina Arias-Peterman, Senior Vice President, and Lester Bird, Vice President, and they're here in the audience. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Terrell. Thank you for coming back. And Tina and Lester, welcome. We're glad you're here tonight. Thank you very much. That will take us back to agenda item 5A. The board will consider the 2015 tax rate resolution to support the 2015-16 maintenance and operations and debt service budgets by setting the 2015 M&O and interest and sinking tax rates. May I have a motion?
Mr. President, I move that the board adopt the 2015 tax rate resolution to support the 2015-2016 maintenance and operations and debt service budgets by setting the 2015 M&O and interest and sinking tax rates at $1.04 and 40 cents respectively.
I have a motion from Dr. Ogletree.
Second.
Second from Ms. Hartley. Questions from board members?
Just a reminder, that's unchanged from last
Yeah, just a reminder that tax rate is unchanged from last year. So no need to storm the gates right now. All those in favor, please signify. It's unanimous. That will take us to agenda item 5C. The board will consider adopting an order authorizing the issuance of Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District Unlimited Tax School Building and Refunding Bonds, Series 2005A, providing for the award of the sale thereof in accordance with specified parameters and enacting other provisions related thereto. May I have a motion, please?
I move that the board adopt an order authorizing the issuance of Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District Unlimited Tax School Building and Refunding Bonds, Series 2015-A, providing for the award of the sale thereof in accordance with specified parameters and enacting other provisions relating thereto.
I have a motion from Dr. Ogletree. May I have a second? Second, Mr. Jackson. Any questions from board members? All those in favor? That will take us to 5D. The board will consider adopting an order authorizing the issuance of Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District Variable Rate Unlimited Tax School Building Bonds, Series 2015B, in accordance with specified parameters and enacting other provisions related thereto. May I have a motion?
I move that the board adopt an order authorizing the issuance of Cypress-Fairbanks Independent School District Variable Rate Unlimited Tax School Building Bond, Series 2015B, in accordance with specified parameters and enacting other provisions relating thereto.
I have a motion from Mr. Jackson. May I have a second? Second, Ms. Mongoya. Questions from board members? Mr. Jackson, this would be the item you were looking for.
Yes. I think you already heard my questions from before.
Okay, the question was, what is the stated rate or the fixed rate on the variable rate bonds, and the default rate, right, and the kind of a current market analysis on interest rates. So I'll turn that over to Mr. Terrell Palmer.
Good evening. Yes, very good question. Variable rate bonds have got a lot more issues than our fixed rated issues. When fixed rate bonds, as you know, we sell those bonds and that rate stays the same throughout the maturities of those bonds. With variable rates, we are resetting those bonds from time to time. Our plan is to sell $150 million in variable rate bonds in 3 different tranches. One tranche will mature in the year 1. The other 2 tranches, or the second tranche, will mature in year 3, and then the last tranche for $50 million will mature in year 4. What happens with the variable rate bonds is those bonds are remarketed at each one of those remarketing dates. And if there's a problem in the market and the bonds cannot be remarketed, let's say we're having a another subprime credit crisis or market kind of meltdown, and everybody's selling bonds and nobody's buying bonds and are not willing to buy Cy-Fair ISD bonds at that point. The documents allow for the interest rate to go to what we call a stepped rate. And in the current market, that step rate is 8%. And that's a big number, and it scares everybody. But let me give you a couple of things that I think would ease your mind. One, there's been billions of dollars of soft put bonds that have been sold by Texas independent school districts, but not one of those issues has ever had to go to their stepped rate. They've all been successfully remarketed when due. Two, if there is an issue with the variable rate bonds and we do have to go to that stepped rate, that is not a rate that we have to pay for the next 30 years. It's really a temporary rate that we would pay for a month or two, and allow for the markets to settle down and allow for us to either refinance out of those bonds or to refund them or really remarket them to another period. We did have stepped bond rates that were, or variable rate bonds, soft puts that were in place during that credit crisis, and as I mentioned, all of those issues were able to be remarketed at reasonable rates, and we just don't see an issue with y'all's credit rating in the AA category, plus your permanent school fund guarantee. What happens in a credit crisis is there's a flight to quality, and there's no higher quality than Cy-Fair Independent School District bonds with the permanent school fund guarantee. So I am highly confident that there will always be a market for your bonds.
Let me remind you also that just last month we remarketed some put bonds, soft put bonds, variable rate bonds that were sold in 2014 at a rate of 1.05%.
Yeah, I think if there's not any questions on the mechanism of soft puts, I'll tell you a little bit about the market. The market is very good right now. Everybody thought that the Federal Reserve was going to increase short-term rates, and there were indications that it could happen as early as this month, September, but it hasn't happened, and really our worldwide events have really kind of changed, I believe, the Federal Reserve and how they're going to be addressing interest rates, and they've delayed that increase for a while, and interest rates have actually dropped over the last month. And as I mentioned, we're looking at an interest rate of around 3.8% on your fixed rate bonds and a 1.32% on your variable rate bonds. So very good interest rates. If you wanted to look at it over a 10-year period and divided it up by percentile, we are in the 95th percentile of rates over that period. So only 5% of the time during that period have rates been lower than they are today. So it's a very good time to issue bonds, and rates are very low.
Excellent answers. Thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Also, before we leave this item, I would like to mention that our co-bond counsel is here back again tonight. Jonathan Frells with Bracewell and Giuliani, and Randy Bates with Bates Coleman.
Thank you guys for coming back tonight. Any additional questions from board members on agenda item 5D? I have a motion. I have a second. All those in favor, please signify. It's unanimous. That will now take us to agenda item 6A. We will now go on to the superintendent's briefing portion of the agenda. Dr. Henry will make comments and provide information of interest. Dr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. Every year, this time of year, we do a student enrollment comparison, As of September 1st, 2015, the district's student enrollment was 113,153. This figure represents a growth of 1,289 students when compared to last year's enrollment figure of 111,864. And I can tell you historically, from the time school starts till about the middle of October, we traditionally grow 2,500 to 3,000 students more. So, in fact, this 113,153 is already 300 or 400 higher than I'm telling you today. So that will continue to occur throughout the fall if history repeats itself. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. You can help make a difference in the lives of those impacted by the #1 disease killer of American children and adolescents by simply taking the time to learn what you can do to help. Many organizations, such as the American Childhood Cancer Organization and Children's Cancer Research Fund, provide opportunities for people to get involved and support groundbreaking research that aims to help save lives. Help us bring awareness of childhood cancer to the community by wearing gold during the month of September. October 5th through 9th will be designated as College and Career Awareness Week. It's also Generation Texas Week. In an effort to promote college and career readiness, our campuses will focus on college and career awareness during the week and throughout the month of October. Counselors will provide teachers with age-appropriate information, discuss college majors, and use lessons and materials aimed at helping students and their parents make early plans for college and careers. Our Guidance and Counseling Department is also coordinating College and Career Night at the Berry Center on October 7th for our high school juniors and seniors. And if you've never been to that event, it's pretty amazing. There will literally be thousands of young people along with their parents at the Berry Center with dozens, if not a couple of hundred colleges from throughout the country that will be there to recruit our students. 10th and 11th grade students are invited to take the pre-SAT or the PSAT on Wednesday, October 14th, 2015 for a fee of $20. High schools will administer the test and students should register online to test at their home campus. This testing provides practice for the SAT, an opportunity to enter the National Merit Program, and information about college readiness. In addition, the ACT Aspire 10, formerly known as the PLAN test, will be offered to all 10th graders free of charge during the week of November 9th through 13th, 2015. ACT Aspire 10 preps students for the ACT test. Governor Greg Abbott has proclaimed October 14th as Texas Education Human Resources Day to honor our HR staff who ensure our schools are staffed with high-quality employees. Certainly we want to recognize the important contribution to hiring individuals who embody our Cy-Fair principles and values. And I'm not for sure, but I think the number is about 1,500 new employees that were hired over the spring and summer this last year, and that's kind of an every year occurrence. So they do a great job of getting people, great people to Cy-Fair ISD. Our Community Engagement Office is seeking adults to serve as mentors for students in all grade levels. As a mentor, you'll meet with a selected student on a campus for up to 1 hour per week, serving as a guide and a friend and helping with educational and personal development. This is a great way to make an impact on the life of a student. Please call the Community Engagement Office at 281-894-3950 to learn how to become a mentor, or visit the mentor page on www.cfisd.net under Community Involvement. And last, that's not on my list here, but I added it, happy birthday to Karen Smith. Today's her birthday. Stand up, Karen, so we can get you on camera. Is she standing up?
No, if she is, she's got a height issue.
Okay. Okay, well, we were going to miss her if she didn't stand up.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you for holding the festivities at Willie's tonight after the meeting. I believe we don't have a need for a closed session, and so that will conclude our meeting. I want to thank everyone in attendance and hope that you enjoy the rest of your Monday evening. Have a great night. Thank you.
Donna.